Greetings and welcome to Hexed Countered. I'm Joe. It is SCRAM time, and the winner of the poll was the 1960 SCRAM season, and I did complete 10 races of that. So this long play will consist of, I guess, 18 races to get us to 28. I've determined that that's what the length of this season will be. This season did not come with a schedule, or if it did, I didn't receive one, but I'm assuming it did not. So I've already run qualifying and everything to get that out of the way. I'll give you a brief recap of what happened. We did have some interesting things take place. So we drew, I think, 4 or 5, maybe it was 4, TV drivers. And no, it was 5 actually. And the first one we drew was Griffin Smith, who's right here. And he got into a feud with the number 89 car of, who was 89? Lake Covington. And that resulted in Covington actually ended up on the bubble and did not qualify because this is a smaller field. As you can see, there's only 30 cars. So they have a feud going, but it is not going to have any effect on this race, but we will keep it in mind for the next one. So Griffin ended up, or Smith here, ended up in 7th place after qualifying. Marv Forsberg, he also had a DNQ due to wrecking during qualifying, so he wrecked and did not qualify. Then number 54, Stockton, Pepper Stockton, he ended up right here. He actually did pretty well. Hot week in hot laps. He earned himself a chip, so he's here in the 3rd spot. And then we had another little bit of excitement as we had some shenanigans, I guess, with a couple of drivers. Wilsey Whiteman in the 30 and Lindsay Talby in the 68 got into it. So they have a feud going as well, but neither of them are in the race either. So we have some feuds going on, but we're not going to have any feuding action in this particular race. So Norm Gundy ended up taking the pole. And then we have Joe Cook in 2nd. Kenny Worthington is 3rd. Hal Thomas 4th. Branch Montana starts in 5th. The aforementioned Griffin Smith is in 7th. Did I say 5th? That's 6th, obviously. Then we have Godfrey Sell, Fuzzy Peters, and Boyce Daly rounding out the first 10. Some of the bigger names ended up in bad positions here. We've got Burl Exum is all the way down here in 22nd place, right behind Eldon Briscoe and Porter Lilly, 3 of the better drivers. Ed Belergen, he's had a pretty good start to the season. Ross Pettis, Tommy Stoffel. These are fairly big names. They're all starting in the back of the pack. So we're going to get underway here. We are at the Small Town Speedway. It's one of the generic dirt tracks that comes with the 1960 SCRAM season. So let's roll them out and see what we get here. We get a 5, which 5, of course, is the bottom group. There aren't that many there. The metallics give us a 3, which is reflex. So we're checking for reflex. Jimmy Bowker has it, so we will start by rolling with him. And we get a 366. So his the gas is good. The 6 would be it's a 3, so that would be Ross Pettis. And the 6 brake would also be good enough to beat him out. So Bowker is going to jump up into the middle group. Now we'll check Rocket Felder. He gets a 1, which is good. And he gets he gets a 3, which is still good. And a 1, which is going to be Fuzzy Peters. And the 4 brake is also good. So Felder is going to jump up. Gord McGreevy has reflex, so let's see what he gives us. 3-2-3. So the 3 is good. The 2 is going to be Bodnett. And the the 3 on the brakes is also good. So everybody is kind of jumping ahead here. Now we get Belergen. A lot of reflex in this group. Oh, the dreaded triples. That indicates we have a problem here. Okay, so let's roll on our problem finder. We'll just roll, well, we'll roll a 3. Doesn't really matter. 13. 13 on our problem finder is multiple problems, unable to continue. So Ed Belergen becomes the first of the drivers to actually have to drop out. Moves everybody else up a slot. And we'll continue with Bridges Baker here. He gets a 1. That's good. A 4, which would be Hilburn, and another 4. So that is going to be good for Bridges Baker. Luckily rolled 1. He only has 3 gas. Next up is Eccles. 1, 6, 6. So that's actually a pretty good roll. So 1, Felder, 6, 6, of course, is good as well. Oh, wait a minute. What am I doing? It's not 1. It's 6. Big old doofus. All right, so it's Bowker. Wait a minute. Yeah, the 6 was not on the red, so I think he's okay. Okay, next up, Burl Exum. He also gets a 1, 6, 6. So unfortunately, Eccles does not keep his spot for long. As Exum moves into the top group, right behind Tommy Stoffel. Eldon Briscoe, our last contestant. And he rolls a 6. He does not have the triangle, so that's good for him. And it's not triples, so he does not have a problem. He simply does not successfully move up. So that's turn 1. This is a dirt track race, so it's 26 turns, I believe. 20 turns. I can't read. 6 is a duel, and we get an 8. So an 8 is the number 6 cars in the middle group being the instigators. So these 2 guys right here. And I think we start with the odd, if I remember correctly. So he will challenge Godfrey Sell. So his red die is a 4. He's got 5 gas pedals, so he takes the spot. And he gets a chip. And we check to see. Yeah, he's okay. He's got a blue triangle, but he's okay. We check Godfrey Sell for trouble now. So he needs to roll less than an 8. And the track adjustment is +1. So we're going to add 1 to his roll. It's a 7, becomes an 8, so he's still okay. So no trouble there. Now we'll do Stoffel. He will challenge Felder since Exum's got the chip. And I don't need to roll all 3. It's just a habit. He got a 2. So he automatically gets it because it was under his gas pedal rating. You don't check brakes for this. So he also gets a chip. Okay, so now let's check Felder for trouble. His escape is a 7. Again, we do have the +1. He rolled a 3, so 4 is good. He does not have any issues. That is turn number 2. We go to turn 3. Whoops. I'll keep the 6. It's a 3, which is middle group, and 11. 11 is trouble, so we have potential trouble in the middle group. So I'm going to start rolling for escapes. We know he's an 8. And that's an 8 + 1 is a 9, so he is in trouble. Dirt tracks, notoriously difficult. That's a 6. His escape is a 7, so it becomes a 7, which is still okay. Burke needs less than a 9. He gets an 8, which becomes a 9, so he's okay. Peachy's an 8. He gets an 8, which becomes a 9, so he is no good. Baker has a 10. That's pretty dang high. He's good. Macaluso 7. He's okay. Hartzell 7. He is not okay. Wedge an 8. Oof. Okay. 4-car pileup. Now, yellows in this dirt track race, only 1 turn is lost. McGreevy a 7. He's okay. Daly a 7. He is not, because that becomes an 8. Then we've got Stoffel at 8. He's fine. And Exum at 9. He's also fine. All right, so now we'll have to check for what happens with these guys here. So we'll start with Cell. Maybe actually, yeah, we'll just start with Cell because he was the first one to get into trouble, even though he's at the back. All right, so he's got a D, and we're in the first third, so he needs less than an 8. The repair is no change on the track card. He gets a 7, so he's fine. He just goes to the back. Peachy, he's an E, and in the first third, he needs a 7, and he gets it, so he's okay. Then we've got Hartzell. He is an E as well, so needs a 7. He gets a 9, so he's out of the race. Next up is Wedge. He gets a 7. He's a D, so he is okay. Goes to the back. And a 5 for Daly, who's an E, so he is okay as well. Goes to the back. All right, it's a yellow, so everybody's just going to fill in here. So we all just move on up. And that is that. Okay, so we lose turn 4 to the caution. We go to turn 5. Now we have only 1 pit turn in this, even though it's a 20-turn race. We'll have our pit turn on turn 7. And this time we get a 3, which is the middle group. And the 7 is heat. And then at the end of this, we conclude the turn with a problem roll on the bottom group. Dirt track racing, baby. All right, here we go. Heat in the middle group. First one is Briscoe. He rolled a 6 on his no yellow. I think he rolled, well, maybe he didn't roll a 6 last time. I don't remember now. Anyway, no good. Next up, Porter Lily. Gets a 4. He's got 5 gas. 3 is, 3 is Worthington. And 4, 2 plus 1 is only 3. So Porter Lily jumps up to 4th place, bumping Kenny Worthington down into 15th. Next heat is Rocketfelder. Gets a 5, and he only has 4 gas, so not successful. Aaron Burke, who does have a yellow triangle, he gets a 4, which is good. He gets a 6, which is Griffin Smith, and he gets a 5, which is good enough. Okay, next is Bridges Baker, needs a 3 on the gas, gets it. He's looking at Burke, and he's good. And next up, Macaluso. 1, 1, 3. 1, 2. So Macaluso jumps into 2nd place with a relatively low break roll. Gord McGreevy has starred heat, as does the 2 guys in front of him. He rolled a 5, which is too high, so he is not successful, but he gets to try again. This time he gets a 4, which is again not successful. Now we've got Tommy Stoffel. He gets a 4, 3, 4, so that will be successful. And he gets to challenge for the lead now against Gundy, who's got 3 break. 4, and he only rolled a 2 on the blue, so that is unsuccessful. He will spend his chip for to make it a success. So he takes the lead, but he might lose it to Burl Exum, who also has starred heat, but he also has a blue triangle. Gets a 5, which is good. He gets a 3, which is Gundy, and he gets another 5. Yeah, so he's, oh wait, he rolled a 6. He rolled a 6. The blue triangle, though. So for the first time, this is the first time this has happened to me. He rolled a red 6, which triggers the triangle check. For the blue triangle to come into effect and cause a mechanical failure, the blue die has to be a 5 or a 6. It's a 5. So I don't think the chip can be used to get rid of that either. That is a problem result. And yeah, it's a mechanical failure. I don't think the chip can use it, can be used to negate that. Yes, he cannot use it to avoid problems. So Exum is out here on turn 5. And now we do have to do a problem check for the bottom group as well. Okay, so let's do our driver finder table here with the red and the white dice. 61 would be driver 19. What? Oh, highest driver. So it's gonna be Boyce Daly, because I'm not gonna re-roll until we get one. I mean, we're missing like what, 15? So let's check his. So he's an E. This is a trouble result. We are in. Yeah, we're still in the first third. So he needs less than a 7, and there is no check for this. Oh wait, no, we got to roll for what the problem is. Duh. All right, 62. 62 problem, clutch problem, roll for repair. So now we have to roll for repair. All right. Gets an 8, and that is not good enough with an E. So Daly is out as well. Okay, we go on to turn number 6. Oh, wait, we got to fill. So let's let me pause here. Now let's see what happens here. Hilburn is good, so he gets it. Okay, now middle group 5. Smart in the middle group. Hilburn starred Smart. 4, that's good. 5 is Branch, Montana, and a 5 on the break is also good. And he gets to challenge Stoffel now. So he's going to need a good roll. Stoffel's got 4 break. And he rolled a 6, and that is not going to get it done. Okay, next Smart is Rocket Felder. 1, 2, 3. Well, 2 is Pepper Stockton, and the 3 would work, but Stockton's got a chip. He will spend it. Sorry there, Rocket. And Joe Cook is smart, and so is Porter Lilly. He rolls a 6, does Cook, so that will not work. And now Porter Lilly. 1, 4, 4. So 4 is Hal Thomas, and Porter Lilly moves up to 5th. That is turn 6. We go to our pit turn. So we roll for the pit. Ooh, 6 and 5, 5. Interesting. Okay, so this is an interesting one, like I said, because we got a 6, which is middle, top, and leader. Okay, so that's a big group. And then we got double 5s. So usually with the metallics, you swap the two that have that number, but in this case, you get pit violations for these two and this one. They all get pit violations. And they get moved to the back of the bottom group. So we'll just put them here temporarily. Now the rest, all of these other guys get fast pit opportunities. So the only two that are eligible for a fast pit are these two because they're the only TV drivers. So let's roll them out here and see what we get. So we've got Griffin Smith, who has a 5, so this is tough. He does not get it. And then we have Stockton, who has a 7, and he doesn't get it either. So, yeah, don't have to worry about that. So now we move everybody up. Let's see who challenges the leader off. Well, I guess we probably need to move people up. I guess I'm just going to move them this way, and then we'll see who challenges here off the pit lane. So let's roll here. It's a 4, so that is Porter Lilly, so he gets the challenge off pit row. And again, it's just gas pedal. He rolls a 5, he has a 5, so he snatches that lead away from Tommy Stoffel. All right, so I'm going to fix this up, and then we'll pick it up here in turn number 8. Okay, on to turn 8. Oh, triple sixes. Now, in this case, that's not a bad thing. So we get a duel, and we get 12, which is the number 2 cars in the middle group. So that's these two guys right here. Odd guy gets to go first, so he will challenge McGreevy. And we're only checking gas pedal, but I'm going to roll all 3 anyway. He gets it. So he gets that. And then we'll check McGreevy for trouble. His escape is a 7. He gets an 8, so he does have trouble. Now let's see what the outcome of that is. His crew is an E. We are now in the middle third. So he needs 5. Oh, and no change. So he survives, but he does go to the back of the pack. And now Burke, let me give him his chip. Burke will challenge Cook. So it's these guys right here. He also succeeds. Now we'll check Cook for trouble. He's his escape is an 8, and again you add a +1 here. So he rolled a 4, which becomes a 5, but he successfully survives that. So a chip for Burke, and everybody moves up, and then we'll check. Let's check Lonnie Lane to see if he gets to move up. He has a 5 gas, so probably will, and he does. All right. Okay. On to turn number 9. And I rolled the white one in there for some reason, but we got black 3, middle group, and a, 7 that was? I think, is that a 3? No, I don't remember. I'm going to re-roll because I got all discombobulated there. So we got 4, which is still middle group, and a 5. Okay, so 5 is smart. So we're checking smart here. Lonnie Lane goes first. 3, 4, 5. So 3 is Gundy, and 4 is Stoffel, and the 5 break is not good enough. Stoffel, who had been the leader, is now back in 19th. And next up is Pettis. He gets a 2-1-4. So 1 and 4 is higher than that. So Pettis jumps up into the number 2 spot. Next smart is Fuzzy Peters, who does have the blue triangle and does, just like we had earlier, Fuzzy Peters is out with a mechanical issue. Okay, next up, Branch Montana. Oh no, Bruce Hodnett is also smart. Almost skipped him. Well, that 6 isn't going to get it done. He does not have a triangle. Branch Montana also rolls a 6, so that also won't get it done. Next smart is Rocket Felder. 3-1-5. So he's taken on Pettis, and that is going to work for him. So Pettis' stay in the 2 spot did not last very long. Joe Cook is smart. He's our last one. He gets a 5, which is higher than his 4. So he fails. And that was turn 9. I know I said 8 earlier, but that was actually turn 9. All right, on to 10. And we get a 4, which is middle, and 4, which is skill. Oh, I got to move people up. So let's check Godfrey Sell here. We'll hold on to that and use that. But he gets a 1, so he does move up. This is easier now. We've got very few cards here in the bottom group. All right, so 4 is skill, and we'll start with Godfrey Sell. 4, 3, 3. 4 is good, 3 is good, and yeah, that's good. Okay, next up is Tommy Stoffel. 5 good, 6, and 1 not good enough. He starred though, so he gets to try again, and this time he gets a 4, 5, 6. So that is definitely going to work. Okay, so he's back in the top 10. Our next skill is Branch Montana. 5, 2, 5. He's only got a 4 gas. Jimmy Bowker. 3, 1, 1. That's not going to get it done. That is not going to get it done. Kenny Worthington. 4, 2, 6. Okay, so he jumps up to the 3 spot. And the next skill is Griffin Smith. 1, 5, 4. That is good enough, actually. All right, that's turn 10. On to 11. We get a 5, which is the bottom group, and a 6, which is Reflex. Reflex in the bottom group. So we will start with Gordon McGreevy, see if he can climb out of his hole. And he cannot. Carl Royal, he's got a triangle. The 4 does him in, so he's not moving. And he didn't have Reflex. Yeah, he doesn't have Reflex anyway, so we'll roll for Eccles. Who does have a 4. It's 4, so that would be the even guy here, which is Bowker, and 1 break is not good enough. And then we have Wedge. 2, 2, 4. So that's Cook, and the 4 break is definitely good enough. That was Wedge. Every time I see that name, it makes me think of Star Wars. All right, Roger Peachy. Oh, no. No, but at least he does not have a triangle. That is turn 11 in the books. Go on to turn number 12. Whoops, I rolled 3 1s. But no, that's not what we're doing here. All right, 3, 11. So 11 is trouble, and 3 is middle group. Okay, so let's start with Gundy, who has a 7, and we're going to add 1. Okay, he's good. Baker's a 10. He's good. Macaluso is a 7. He is not good. So let's see what happens to him. He's an E. We're still in the middle third, barely. So he needs a 5. And does not get it. So he is out. Actually, no. That's wrong. I was checking repair. And he's going to be out anyway. No, he's not. He's out anyway, but we need to figure out who's collected. Okay, his escape is a 9. He's good. Montana is an 8. He's good. Bowker has a 10. No. Let's check him. He's a D. He needs a 6 or less. Does not get it, so he's out as well. Let's just take him. Macaluso, Bowker are both out. I'm going to get a yellow here. 8 for Briscoe. He's good. Becomes a 7. Stockton has an 8. He's collected. He's a D. Needs a 6. Gets it. So he just goes to the back. Okay. Next is Pettis. His escape's a 9. He's good. Wedge is an 8. He is not good. He's a D. Needs a 6. Does not get it. Wedge is out. And then we've got Burke. He rolls a 7, so he's good, even though that becomes an 8 because his rating's a 9. Does not need to use his chip. And then Stoffel is an 8. And he's good as well. Okay, so I'm going to rejigger everything here, and then we'll resume after the yellow flag with turn 14. Okay, on to turn number 14 here. 6 is a duel, and we get 11, so that's the 3 cars in the middle group. That's these 2 right here. So Hodnett will challenge Stoffel, and he will succeed. And now Montana will challenge Stoffel. What am I doing? What am I doing? We'll have Montana challenge Pettis because of the performance chips. And he succeeds. So now he gets a chip as well, which could come in handy down the stretch. Now we have to check Stoffel and Pettis for trouble. So his escape's an 8, becomes a 9. He's good. Stoffel is fine. Pettis has a 9, and he's good too. All right, on to turn 15. Another duel. This time it's a 9. That is the 5 cars. So up here. So Cook is going to see if he can knock that chip off of Hodnett. Why not, right? And he does. So Hodnett has to spend the chip. And then Peachy will take advantage of that and try to take that spot. And he does. So we could imagine that maybe Cook and Peachy are teammates and they're like teaming together or something. All right. So that's turn 15. Now we go to 16. Down into the nitty-gritty. And we get another duel. And this is now the number 6 car in the top group. So he will try to take Rocket Felder's spot at the number 2. And he gets it. Okay. That's turn 16. Now, we would normally have a pit stop here, but this is a dirt track race, so we do not. Okay, we get a 3, so that's middle group, and a 7 is heat with the problem check for the bottom group. Only 3 cars. So, all right, heat. Hodnet gets a 4, a 5, and a 3. That's gonna have, he's gonna have to use his chip to keep his spot, and he will. Now Gundy has a starred heat. He gets a 3, 2, 5, so that is definitely going to work. Despite his 2 breaks, Worthington gets bumped on that 5. And now Gundy can challenge Lilly for the lead. And he gets a 1 and a 3 break, and he has no breaks. So Gundy reclaims the top spot. He was our pole sitter. Okay, now continuing heat. Stoffel also starred heat. He gets a 5, and a 3. So yes, that will work for Tommy Stoffel. And he gets to challenge for the lead now. 2, 6, 3, so not quite good enough. He sticks in the number 6 spot. Next up is Ross Pettis. 1, 6, 4. That is good enough. So he moves up into the top group. Next heat is Briscoe. He gets a 2, 5, 2. That's not going to be good enough to take Stoffel there. Now, Montana has heat. All 3 of these guys have heat, but Montana and Burke also have chips. So 3, 3, 6, he's going to take that spot without having to spend his chip, which is a good bonus for him. His decision earlier to go for the 10 spot, a moderate win in the duel, actually worked out for him with that chip. Well, he would have gotten it anyway, but now he has a chip he can use if he ever gets a shot at the top spot. Now we'll do Burke. And the 4 is good. 5 is Stoffel, and the 2 is not good, so he is going to have to spend his chip, but he will take that spot. Okay, last but not least is Peachy. He's got a 5 gas, so he's, well, yeah, that's not going to work. Lonnie Lane Sr. has 2 breaks with the bonus, so that ends turn 17. We have 3 turns left in the race. And we get a 3, middle group, and a 7, and that's a heat. And I just remembered I forgot to check for the problem back here. So let's do that right now. Let's see who it is. 46 would be driver number 12. Well, it's the 3rd one in that group, so I'm just going to say it's Pepper Stockton, which would have been the last guy anyway. Let's see what that problem is. It's a 52. 52 is clutch problem, roll for repair. And we are in the last third. He has a D, and so he cannot fix the problem. There is not enough time left in the race. Stockton is out here in turn 17. And now we've got the same result, so we're going to do it again. Okay, so we're going to start, it's heat. We're going to start with Hodnet, 5, too high. And Worthington, 1, 6, 2. So 6 is Pettis. He's got 3 breaks, so that's not going to work for Worthington. Bridges Baker, 3 gas. That's a no. Rocket Felder, 1, 3, 1. So that's also not going to work. Montana's got 2 breaks with the break bonus. So now Briscoe, 3, 1, 2. That's a tie. So unfortunately for him, no. Stoffel with his starred heat. 5 is good. 5, 1. 5, 1. It's a tie. No good. But he gets to try again. And he gets a 3, 2, 3. And that is actually good enough to take care of Porter Lily. And now we have Peachy. 4, good. 6, 1, no good. That is turn 18. Okay. Turn 19. That's a 6. 5 is bottom group. 11. I'm not even going to bother to check for trouble back there. There's only 2 cars because we got a trouble on this one anyway. So I'm going to roll the red die. Well, we'll roll the black die. Odd is Royal. Even is McGreevy. Even. So it's McGreevy. Now we'll see what the problem is. 44 is oil pressure problem. Roll for repair. He's a B. So he actually has a shot. He needs to roll a 4 or less. He did it. Wow. Good job. Good job. And that's turn 19. So last turn of the race, it looks like Gundy's going to be the winner unless something good happens. Oh, we have top group 7. That is heat. And we're going to have another check for our problems in the back. But we have plenty of guys with heat. In fact, every single person in the top group has heat. So Gundy with a 3 break rating, thanks to the bonus. All right, we got 4, 3, 4 for Ross Pettis. The 4 is good enough. So Ross Pettis takes the lead. Can he hold it? That's a whole other thing. He does have a 4 break now. Five for Lonnie, but the 3 is not going to get it done. Branch Montana has a chip. So, and he rolled a 6. Does not have a triangle. So he can try a, he just can take it because he can use his chip. So he will take the top spot, but again, can he hold off Stoffel and Hal Thomas? That remains the question. 3, 2, 3. That's not going to get it done for Stoffel, but he starred, so he gets to try twice. 4, 5, 3, also not going to be good enough. And so Hal Thomas is the last one with a chance, coming down to the wire here. 2, 3, 1. He does not do it. Branch Montana is your winner. Coming in the last lap, we had, or the very last, well, there's like, I think it's 4 laps at the end of this race, from reading the 100-mile race rule on a dirt track. So Branch Montana takes it over in the last few laps, passing Ross Pettis, who had himself passed Norm Gundy. Gundy was our pole sitter. So the people who led laps, Stoffel, Lilly, Gundy twice, Pettis, and guy who was there at the end when it matters the most, Branch Montana is your winner. Hal Thomas in the 17 Chevy is second. Tommy Stoffel, 99 Buick, third. 48 Plymouth of Ross Pettis, fourth. Lonnie Lane in that 22 Chevy, he's fifth. Aaron Burke, he is fifth in his, I think that says Mercury. It does. And Norm Gundy in the 35 Chrysler is seventh. Roger Peachy finishes eighth in the number 40 Chevy car. Porter Lily driving a, what does that say? Black on red, hard for me to read. Chrysler, 59 Chrysler, he's ninth. And coming in 10th is the number 60 Dodge of Godfrey Sell. Eldon Briscoe, Rockefeller, Griffin Smith, Bridges Baker, Kenny Worthington in 15th. Bruce Hodnett, Joe Cook, Larry Hilburn, Jerry Eccles, Carl Royal, and Gord McGreevy, the last man standing, comes in 21st. 9 drivers failed to finish the race, and a slew of drivers failed to qualify for the race. So that is going to do it for this one. It was race number 11 in the season. I will update the standings and put them up at the beginning of the next race. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it entertaining, and we'll come back to watch the next race. That will be race number 12. That will take place at, let's see, where do we want it to take place? How about the Eastern Seaboard Speedway Short Track, 500? Till next time, I'm Joe. This is Hexed Countered Sports. Sports Edition. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Until next time, happy gaming.